Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Online Biology Tutorials. In today's live, we will be reading Chapter 6 Reproduction in Animals, Class 8 Science taken from NCERT. I hope the screen is clear, the text is clear to everybody. In case you are interested in hearing the audio of first 5 chapters, you can visit the playlist Audiobook Class 8 Science on my channel, and there you will find all the first 5 chapters taken so far. So let's begin with the live reading of chapter 6 Reproduction in Animals. Do you recall the processes of digestion, circulation, and respiration which you have studied in your previous classes? These processes are essential for the survival of every individual. You have also learned about the process of reproduction in plants. Reproduction is essential for the continuation of a species. Imagine what would have happened if organisms had not reproduced. You will realize that reproduction is very important as it ensures the continuation of similar kind of individuals generation after generation. You have already learned in your previous class about reproduction in plants. In this chapter, we shall learn how reproduction takes place in animals. I hope the part is clear to everybody. So, 6.1 Modes of reproduction. Have you seen the younger ones of different animals? Try to name some of the young ones by completing table 6.1 shown in examples at serial number 1 to 5. So, you are requested to complete as the young one of human is known as baby, of hen is known as chick. Similarly, you need to find out the young one names of cat, dog, butterfly, cow, and frog. You must have seen the young ones of various animals being born. Can you tell how chicks and caterpillars are born? How are kittens and puppies born? Do you think that these young ones looked the same before they were born as they do now? Let us find out. Just as in plants, there are two modes by which animals reproduce. These are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. 6.2 Sexual reproduction. Try to recall reproduction in plants which you studied in class 7. You will remember that plants that reproduce sexually have male and female reproductive parts. Can you name these parts? In animals, also males and females have different reproductive parts or organs. Like plants, the reproductive parts in animals also produce gametes that fuse to form zygote. It is the zygote which develops into a new individual. This type of reproduction, beginning from the fusion of male and female gamete, is called sexual reproduction. Let us find out the reproductive parts in humans and study the process of reproduction in them. Male reproductive organs. The male reproductive organs include a pair of testes, singular testes, two sperm ducts, and a penis. Figure 6.1 The testes produce the male gametes called sperms. Millions of sperms are produced by the testes. Look at figure 6.2, which shows the picture of a sperm. Those sperms are very small in size. Each has a head, middle piece, and a tail. Does it appear to be single cell? Indeed, each sperm is a single cell with all usual cell components. Figure 6.2 Human sperm. What purpose does tail in a sperm serve? Female reproductive organs. The female reproductive organs are a pair of ovaries, oviducts, which are also known as fallopian tubes, and the uterus. The ovary produces female gametes called ova or eggs, figure 6.4. In human beings, a single matured egg is released into the oviduct by one of the ovaries every month. Uterus is the part where development of the baby takes place, like the sperm and egg is also a single cell. Figure 6.4 is showing you the human ovum. Bojo recalls that the size of the eggs in animals varies. The egg may be very small as in humans, much larger as in hens. Ostrich egg is the largest. Fertilization. The first step in the process of reproduction is the fusion of the sperm with an ovum. When sperms come in contact with the egg, one of the sperms may fuse with the egg. Such fusion of the egg and the sperm is called fertilization, shown to you in figure 6.5, this one. During fertilization, the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form single nucleus. This results in the formation of a fertilized egg or zygote, shown to you in figure 6.6. Did you know that the zygote is the beginning of a new individual? The process of fertilization is the meeting of an egg cell from the mother and a sperm cell from the father. So the new generation inherits some characteristics from the mother and some of the father. Look at your brother or sister. If See if you can recognize some characters in them similar to those of your mother or father. Fertilization, which takes place inside the female body, is called internal fertilization. Internal fertilization occurs in many animals, including humans, cows, dogs, hens, etc. Have you heard of test tube babies? Bojo and Paheli teacher once told them in the class that in some women oviducts are blocked. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, doctor collect freshly released egg and sperms and keep them together for a few hours for IVF or in vitro fertilization. Fertilization outside the body. In case fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then it is placed in the mother's uterus. Complete development takes place in the uterus and the baby is born like any other baby. Babies born through this technique are called test tube babies. This term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in test tubes. You will be surprised to know that in many animals, fertilization takes place outside the body of the female. In these animals, fertilization takes place in the water. Let us find out how this happens. Activity 6.1. Visit some ponds or slow flowing streams during spring or rainy season. Look out for clusters of frogs' eggs floating in water. Write down the color and the size of the eggs. During spring or rainy season, frogs and toads move to ponds and slow flowing streams. When the male and the female come together in the water, the female lays hundreds of eggs. Unlike hen's egg, frog's eggs is not covered by a shell and it is comparatively very delicate. A layer of jelly holds the eggs together and provides protection to the eggs as shown in figure 6.7. As the eggs are laid, the male deposits sperms over them. Each sperm swims randomly in the water with the help of a long tail. The sperms come in contact with the eggs. This results in fertilization. This type of fertilization in which fusion of a male and a female gamete take place outside the body of the female, it is called external fertilization. It is very common in aquatic animals such as fish, starfish, etc. Why do fish and frogs lay eggs in hundreds, whereas a hen lays only one egg at a time? Though these animals lay hundreds of eggs and release millions of sperms, all the eggs do not get fertilized and develop into new individuals. This is because the eggs and its sperms get exposed to water movement, wind, and rainfall. Also, there are other animals in the pond which may feed on eggs. Thus, production of large number of eggs and sperms is necessary to ensure fertilization of at least a few of them. How could a single cell become such a big individual? Development of embryo. Fertilization results in the formation of a zygote which begins to develop into an embryo. Figure 6.8a. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of cells. Figure 6.8b. The cells then begin to form groups that develop into different tissues and organs of the body. This developing structure is termed as embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development as shown in figure 6.8c. The embryo continues to develop in the uterus. It gradually develops body. Figure 6.8a, zygote formation and development of an embryo has been shown to you from the zygote. In B figure, this one, ball of cells, enlarged view has been shown. In C, embedding of the embryo into the uterus, which is enlarged and shown to you. Parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears, etc. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified is called a fetus, as shown to you in figure 6.9. When the development of the fetus is complete, the mother gives birth to the baby. Internal fertilization takes place in hens also, but do hens give birth to babies like human beings and cows? You know that they do not. Then how are chicks born? Let us find out. Soon after fertilization, the zygote divides repeatedly and travels down the oviduct. As it travels down, many protective layers are formed around it. The hard shell that you see in a hen's egg is one such protective layer. After the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the egg. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a chick. You must have been the you must have seen the hen sitting on the eggs to provide sufficient warmth. Did you know that development of the chick takes place inside the eggshell during this period? After the chick is completely developed, it bursts open the eggshell. In animals which undergo external fertilization, development of the embryo takes place outside the female body. The embryo continue to grow within their egg coverings. After the embryo develop, the egg hatch. You must have seen numerous tadpoles swimming in ponds and streams, viviparous and oviparous animals. We have learned that some animals give birth to young ones while some animals lay eggs which later develop into young ones. The animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. The following activity will help you to understand better and differentiate between viviparous and oviparous animals. Activity 6.2. Try to observe eggs of the following organisms like frog, lizard, butterfly, or moth, hen and crow, or any other bird. Were you able to observe eggs of all of them? Make drawings of the eggs that you have observed. The eggs of a few animals are easy to observe because their mothers lay them outside their bodies. There are examples of These are the examples of oviparous animals, but you would not be able to collect the eggs of dog, cow, or cat. This is because they do not lay eggs. The mother gives birth to the young ones. These are the examples of viviparous animals. Can you now give some more examples of viviparous and oviparous animals? Young ones to adults. The new individuals which are born or hatched from the eggs continue to grow till they become adults. In some animals, the young ones may look very different from the adults. The life cycle of frog as shown in figure 6.10. Observe the different stages of frogs starting from the egg to the adult stage. We find that there are three distinct stages, that is egg, then tadpole or larva, and then comes the adult. Don't the tadpoles look so different from the adults? Can you imagine that these tadpoles would someday become frogs? The tadpoles transform into adults capable of jumping and swimming. The transformation of the larva into an adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. What about the changes that we observe in our body and we grow? Do you think we too undergo metamorphosis? In human beings, body parts similar to those present in the adults are present from the time of a birth. 6.3 Asexual reproduction. So far, we have learned about reproduction in some familiar animals, but what about very small animals like hydra and microscopic organisms like amoeba? Do you know that they reproduce? Let us find out. So, in figure 6.10, life cycle of a frog has been shown. First, eggs are laid, then early tadpole is formed, late tadpole, and then the adult frog is formed. So all these process they are metamorphosis. Activity 6.3. Get permanent slides of hydra. Observe them using hand lens or a microscope. Look out for any bulges from the parent body. Count the number of bulges that you see in different slides. Also note the size of the bulges. Draw the diagram of hydra as you see. Compare it with the figure 6.11. In each hydra, there may be one or more Bulges. These bulges are the developing new individuals and they are called buds. Recall the presence of buds in yeast. In Hydra 2, the new individuals develop as outgrowths from a single parent. This type of reproduction, in which only a single parent is involved, is called asexual reproduction. Since new individuals develop from the buds in Hydra, this type of asexual reproduction is called budding. Another method of asexual reproduction is observed in the microscopic organism amoeba. Let us see how this happens. You have already learnt about the structure of amoeba. You will recall that amoeba is a single-celled organism as seen in figure 6.12a. It begins the process of reproduction by the division of its nucleus into two nuclei. This is followed by the division of its body into two, each part receiving a nucleus, which has been shown to you in figure C, this one. Finally, two amoeba are produced from one parent amoeba in figure 6.12D, this one. This type of asexual reproduction in which an animal reproduced by dividing into two individuals is called binary fission. Apart from budding and binary fission, there are other methods by which a single parent reproduces young ones. You will study about these in your higher classes. Story of Dolly the clone. Cloning is the production of an exact copy of a cell, any other living part, or a complete organism. Cloning of an animal was successfully performed for the first time by Ian Wilmot and his colleagues at the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh, Scotland. They successfully cloned a sheep named Dolly, as shown to you in figure 6.13c, this one. Dolly was born on 5th July 1996 and was the first mammal to be cloned. During the process of cloning Dolly, a cell was collected from the mammary gland of a female Finn Dorset sheep. Simultaneously, the egg was obtained from a Scottish blackface ewe. The nucleus was removed from the egg and then the nucleus of the mammary gland cell from Finn Dorset sheep was inserted into the egg of the Scottish blackface ewe whose nucleus has been removed. The egg thus produced was implanted into the Scottish blackface ewe. Development of this egg followed normally and finally Dolly was born. Though Dolly was given birth by a Scottish blackface ewe, it was found to be absolutely identical to the Finn Dorset sheep from which the nucleus was taken. Since the nucleus from the egg of the Scottish blackface ewe was removed, Dolly did not show any character of the Scottish blackface ewe. Dolly was a healthy clone of the Finland Dorset sheep and produced several offspring of her own through normal sexual means. Unfortunately, Dolly died on 14 February 2003 due to certain lung disease. Since Dolly Several attempts have been made to produce the cloned animals. However, many die before birth or die soon after birth. The cloned animals are many a times found to be born with several severe abnormalities. So, with this, we are done with the reading of reproduction chapter 6 of class 8 science NCERT. Before we end this live, let's read the keywords: asexual reproduction, binary fission, budding, eggs, embryo, external fertilization, fertilization, fetus, internal fertilization, metamorphosis, oviparous animal, sexual reproduction, sperms, viviparous animal, zygote. Now, let's see the summary. There are two modes by which animals reproduce. They are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Reproduction resulting from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. The reproductive organs in the female include ovaries, oviducts, and uterus. The reproductive organs in male includes testes, sperm ducts, and penis. The ovary produces female gametes called ova, and the testes produce male gametes called sperms. The fusion of ovum and sperm is called fertilization. The egg is called a zygote. Fertilization that takes place inside the female body is called the internal fertilization. This is observed in human beings and other animals such as hens, cows, dogs. Fertilization that takes place outside the female body is called external fertilization. This is observed in frogs, fish, starfish, etc. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts are identifiable is called fetus. Animals such as human beings, cow, dogs, which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Animals such as hen, frog, lizard, and butterfly, which lay eggs, are called oviparous animals. The transformation of the larva into adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. The type of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction. In Hydra, new individuals develop from buds. This method of asexual reproduction is called budding. Amoeba reproduces by dividing itself into two. This type of asexual reproduction is called binary fission. So, with this, we are done with the reading of this chapter 6, Reproduction in Animals. In case you have liked the audio or the pronunciation, do hit the like button before you leave. Consider subscribing to have the recent notifications. And thank you to all the viewers who were connected till end. See you in next video. Thank you.